Hola, ¿cómo está? Happy summer. Hopefully it's a little warmer where you are than it is here. Um, Welcome to MUS218 Online, or History of American Popular Music. I wanted to make a little video here to discuss a number of things related, first of all, to how the class is going to be run, and then we'll discuss the syllabus. Just a word of caution here. If you've never taken an online course, the first things that you'll learn here is a lot of the responsibility for success really falls upon the student in this kind of a class. If you take an in-person class, you can actually, come to class, do the reading to a reasonable extent, and in some cases, even minimal extent, sit in on the discussions and still end up passing the class. In an online version of the class, the responsibility for reading and follow through really falls on you. So I did notice that some of you were taking other classes here this summer, and if you think it's going to be difficult for you to stay on top of the reading or to be keep your self-motivation up to follow through on that, then I would consider maybe taking the in-person class. And I think there's room in that. It's Tuesday and Thursday, I believe, at 1:40. But happy to have you in the online version. Um, I would highly recommend that you visit Moodle very regularly. You're going to have to, because you're going to need to, first of all, view the assignments, and then you're secondly going to need to um, make a copy of these discussion questions. What I would do is I basically would go to your Moodle page and just copy them into a Word document or whatever word processor you like to use, and then create a little bit of space between each question and print them out on your printer, and then actually use this when you're reading the book, and go ahead through and read the assignment once. Most assignments, I've tried to keep it to around 20 to 25 pages. The book actually does read a lot like a music magazine, so there's lots of pictures. It's not real heavy reading. So I'd kind of skim it once, and then I'd go through it again and with the questions, and I would try to answer the questions as I go. In order to replace the element of discussion, what I'm going to have you do each Tuesday and Friday is I'm going to have you basically go ahead and pick 5 questions and submit answers to a discussion board. Once you've submitted those, you should be able to see other people's, and this will be our way of kind of replacing the in-classroom discussion. So this, I think, should work as a strategy. For right now, I won't necessarily assign specific questions to specific students, but we'll see how it goes here these first couple weeks. We may need to go to that next step to make sure that we do get all the questions covered. When we do get to the unit tests, there are 4 of them. I would like to try and incorporate this new environment that the school has purchased access to called Blackboard. And it is a live internet classroom online, and where we can literally interact. You can raise your hand, we can have group discussions, and I'd like to try and implement that on the reviews and also on the presentations at the end of the semester. So, because you'll be writing a research paper and then doing a little presentation on what you learned in the process of writing that. And I'd love to, this is new to me too, so we're going to be experimenting here a little bit, but I'd love to see how that's going to work for your for the reviews and for your presentation. The unit tests will be done online on Moodle, obviously. So back to the syllabus briefly. Our learning outcomes here is, of course, we're going to take a look at popular music from about 1840 to the present. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about the connections between economics and economic conditions, social issues, such as integration, the freeing of the slaves, and other issues related to immigration, and also, of course, music. And it's a really great story, first of all, and a very pertinent story to what we do here at this school, since popular music is our thing here at the college. And this college probably wouldn't exist were it not for this popular music and for this great story of the music of Africa and Europe and South America kind of combining in the southern part of the United States, and the elements of gospel and blues and all of that coming together and creating this unique um, music that was quite different from European music and quite different from purely African music. And it's a great inspiring story, and you obviously wouldn't be here and be taking this class if you didn't have tremendous interest in this. So I hope it's a labor of love. I mean, I really do. It is a lot of reading. There are a lot of details, and of course, the research paper is a significant. It's five page research paper with at least 4 sources, all of which are detailed in the syllabus. And I will talk more about this when I preview the second unit to this class. So that'll kind of cover this syllabus. If you have any questions, you can always email me through Moodle, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I personally am really excited about teaching this way. I think this class could work very well. And I will be sending you URLs for YouTube links that you can just click on to go and listen to the music for as we step our way through the chapters in the book and use the examples that there are listed in the book. So we're going to go ahead and start out in Unit 1, and first of all, we'll kind of jump ahead a little bit, and we'll use a Chuck Berry tune, and we'll use that tune as a way of talking about terminology, because the element of critical thinking is always important in college, and to have critical thinking, you also need to have a way to communicate about it. So this first unit, we'll spend some time talking about the terminology that we might use to describe a groove, and musical texture and elements of the rhythm section and all of that kind of thing. And then we're going to kind of launch into the early origins, and we'll talk about minstrel shows and how the elements of African music and European music started before the Civil War, and then the effect of the American Civil War on all of that. And then we'll, kind of basically that'll take care of this first unit for us, and we'll kind of there from we'll start stepping chronologically towards the present. So I think that's it for right now. If you have any issues with Moodle, of course, get to me right away and I'll connect you with the IT people just to make sure that you're seeing everything. Because I don't know always exactly how the student side looks, but all the assignments for the entire semester are posted there. I've posted the questions up through the first unit, and I'll be updating that as we go. And then I'll also be sending you URL and links. So one more thing before I wrap it up here in this first video is do think about what would be a good time. Send me a couple possible times when we get to this first unit review that you would be available for a review session. And this could be daytime or evening, but I think if everybody sends me 3 times, we can at least use that as a start. I know some of you are working. I've set up the class cycle so that it goes from Sunday to Tuesday and then Tuesday to Friday, because I'm thinking you guys probably are not going to want to be studying on Saturday, because you're probably going to either be playing gigs or, well, God forbid, attending a party on a Saturday night. So I've kind of thought that this would be a useful cycle. So we'll go from kind of Sunday to Tuesday and then Tuesday to Friday. And in that little cycle, you'll usually have about 20 to 25 pages and about 20 to, well, sometimes 15 to 20 questions, depending on what's seemed. So when we do when we do move to our unit test, I'll actually, in the review session, we'll go through the questions that will be on the test. So, Have a good summer. Thank you.